Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents. And deal with tech problems for an hour.
Y'all have no idea what it takes to make these fucking episodes for you, okay?
You wouldn't think it's much.
Okay?
It's
You
the
don't
same
know.
process that we have done for like 400 episodes, and yet something new and different always goes wrong.
Every fucking day.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Anyway,
It's
love
always
it
an
here.
adventure over here at Wine and
Oh,
Crime.
yeah.
We have fun here. It's going to be hitting my oney all day.
Oh, my gummy.
Ooh, great
Thanks
idea.
for the reminder. These taste too good.
I know, they're tasty. Anyway, who are we?
Okay, well, shoot. I can't do that because I'm breastfeeding, so
Sucks to suck.
I'm
Sucks to
Kenyan.
suck.
Sucks for Sonia to suck.
I'm Kenyan.
Sucks for your child to be sucking.
Sucking
for your
those
child to be
tears.
sober.
Yeah.
Ick. I'm Lucy.
I don't know. I'm Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm Amanda, and if you're watching at home because you're a patron, you can see my new lip filler.
Yeah, your lips do look luscious.
Mm-hmm. They do.
It's a little distracting because, like, apparently I just know what your regular lips look like very
Apparently.
well.
I love it.
But they look good.
Thanks.
We have a very special fan pick this week brought to you by Kelly Tobin.
Oh, Kelly Dobbs.
And Kelly has selected the topic of dorm disasters.
Whoo, y'all.
And also selected my case, which is really fucking sad.
Who knew that the fan pick would be dark as
Really
hell,
fucking
traumatizing. A little bit of Tobin trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we will get to it. But first, Amanda, what is our wine crime pairing for dorm disasters?
Well, not only has Kelly blessed us with such a glorious topic, she's also blessed us with not one, but two recommended pairings today.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. So she gave me some options. I am going to feature both pairings, and I'm going to start with the wine pairing that she recommended. So she recommended the Bouza Tannat, Bouza. And this is a gorgeous wine from Uruguay, and it contains, so gorgeous. And it contains, it's a pure Tannat, and it contains grapes from 3 specific viticultural regions. This was really cool when I was reading about it, because like if you care at all about science or are interested in geology in any way, this kind of shit always blows my mind. So the different regions where these grapes came from are from Melilla, which is a fairly cool climate site that like surrounds the winery. So it's getting that like very cool, dry air. And then they get grapes from Las Violetas, which is a warmer site with more clay in the soil. And it's like 15 miles north of their winery. So they're like traveling all over to source these grapes. And then the third region is Pan de Azucar, which is one of the country's premier coastal vineyards. And it's a site that sits below the world-renowned rock formation of the same name. So it has this like very specific type of minerality in the soil.
Cool.
It's like an hour east of Montevideo.
All of this sounds really pretty.
Isn't
Yeah.
Azucar sugar?
Yep. Or sucar. But yeah, so like the sweet, there might be like a sweetness. I don't know.
Like a sweet
but
bread.
yeah, that does sound like sweet bread because pan is bread. But the panhandle, the sweet panhandle. But this just makes me want to freaking travel to all of these places. And then the vineyard rows in Melilla, where I think is where the actual vineyard is. That's why they like have access to that region. Their soil has a 2-foot like thick pink granite topper from a local quarry that they like put into the soil So it radiates additional heat for their grapes because it's cooler and they want to generate some natural heat to help that Tannat thrive.
It's a blanket. It's
Yeah.
an earth blanket.
A pink granite blanket.
Isn't that fucking cool? I'm
love
obsessed.
the
That's so
ingenuity.
I know. It's brilliant.
Also, a friend of mine who listens, shout out, hey French, has like gorgeous pink granite or maybe quartz, I don't know, countertops, and like I'm obsessed with them.
I mean, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
But as a result, this process yields a wine with a very expressive nose. Like it's very dark fruit, like mulberry, raisin, kind of like a subtle spice. It does have some similarities to Grenache, but it's most commonly similar to like Cabernet. But this has like a little tiny bit of smokiness to it. It's going to have a really velvety mouthfeel, but a nice dry finish. And those like lip smacking tannins, so good. And the bottle retails for like anywhere between, I saw it on sale for $19 up to like $24. Great price
Yeah.
for a bottle like this. You can order it through wine.com. She is 14% ABV and she's a papper, so you can make sure you order your wine keys from our online store. But she also sent us, because I just think Kelly knows how much I love a good marg.
Oh. Yeah.
So she sent us her mom's margarita recipe. So shout out to Kelly's mom, who keeps it simple with 3 cups of tequila, not specified. I guess whatever you got on your bar. I think I had the like Reposado or Hornita Silver or whatever. 2 cups of lime juice and 1 cup of agave. And this is not
great.
the whole thing, but that's what I'm sipping on today.
Sounds delish.
Yum.
Cheers, y'all.
Also, one of the drunkest I've ever been times was in a dorm playing. What the fuck is it called? With the
Quarters?
cups and the ball.
Beer pong.
Beer pong.
Oh my god.
Margarita pong.
Margarita pong.
Ew, you were
the
playing it
first
with
time I-
margaritas.
Yeah.
That's
It
you
was
basically
really
took
fun,
shots
actually.
the whole time. The first time I played beer pong, quote unquote, at visiting a college, I used Boone's Farm because I
Yep.
didn't like beer. Equally nasty.
I think I've only played with beer, and that's almost worse.
Iowa, am I right?
I know. I went to
Vintage
school in
Iowa.
Iowa. There was a lot of beer.
A lot of it. I remember visiting you freshman year at UNI and being like, I have never seen this much beer in one place.
UNI was a very classic trope of an American college.
Yeah.
Absolutely it was. Like
Yeah.
you expect Stifler's mom to just like appear.
It felt
Yeah.
like we were on like candid camera.
yeah.
It was like a movie set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was.
Like Animal House, but in the early 2000s.
Love it.
Anyway, well,
Anyway, I would
Cheers.
have expected for the pairing for dorm disasters to be like a boxed wine or something.
I know,
Something
but
you can
these-
hide from your RA really easily.
I totally get that, but these were Kelly's recommendations, and I appreciate that she's not trying to make me drink shitty wine or a crappy margarita. So I'm taking the W, as they say,
Yeah,
right.
among the cool kids.
we used to drink Keystone
Yep.
beer.
Yeah, honey.
Absolutely not. Natty Ice, big time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, was it like Kirkland sparkling wine or whatever? Is that what it's called?
They're wine coolers.
Kirkland
The
is like the
BJ's wine
Costco.
coolers. Yeah, Kirkland's the
everything.
Costco
Oh,
brand.
not Kirkland then. It was a different kind of sparkling something. Shit. No, it couldn't even.
Franzia?
No,
Ugh.
I'll find it. Oh,
You-
God.
you
It
work
was-
on
It
that.
was sweet.
You work on that.
The shit that comes in a jug.
All right. Well,
Ugh.
I Google this. Lucy,
All right.
what's our background and maybe psych for dorm disasters?
Oh, no psych. So
Give it a shake.
Fuck. The
Uh,
lid fell off again. Jesus.
Andre sparkling wine. is-
Andre.
That is what we used to drink.
I remember Andre.
Yeah.
That was barely alcoholic.
I remember just like very frequently like leaving our dorm for a party in a different dorm and shoving a bottle of lukewarm Andre into my like my like mini purse, my like knockoff whatever Target
Andre.
baby pink mini purse.
Incredible. I love a baby pink mini purse.
Or those big like saddle bags that were popular in like 2006.
The boho bag.
To match our
boho
Peter
bag.
Pan slouchy boots.
Oh.
Suede
Our
boots.
gauchos.
I miss the Peter Pan slouchy boot. Bring her back.
And
Okay.
suede boots in a northeast winter. Like, why?
Yeah, we're stupid.
Why?
I mean, we're stupid.
God.
Why not, babe?
I remember I bought these boots on sale from like a DSW and they were like $28. I had no business wearing them.
That's an expensive boot.
They went up over the knee. They had a
What?
huge heel on them, and I wanted
can't picture you in this at
Me
all.
either.
I thought I was turning a new leaf in terms of fashion, and we went to a party, and it was in like January,
Oh no.
and I had to have my friend basically carry me home because I couldn't deal with the shoes, and I couldn't go barefoot because there was snow.
The shivering, walking in heels and no coat.
Oh.
And like, for what purpose? It's not like a freshman boy
On the street is
gives
gonna
a shit about your footwear.
right or your
Like you're
coat.
a breathing woman
Yeah.
within range of him.
You got a warm hole. You're in good shape.
It's
Let's
a rite
go.
of passage. I feel like this is a good introduction to my segment.
Great.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, there's no psych, but
Okay.
as we've sort of established, college and specifically the dormitory experience, particularly in the United States, is like a very standard transition from like childhood to adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a surprising amount of background on dormitories.
Okay. Weird. Let's go.
So to start us off, a dormitory is a building on a school campus that has rooms where students can live, also a large room with many beds where people can sleep. Dormitory can mean a lot of things.
End of segment.
Special
thanks.
thanks.
Any questions? No. Moving on.
I have a lot about dorms, and that's my seg.
So the equivalent of a bedroom community in American English is known as a dormitory town in British English.
Weird. Okay.
Oh, like just like where people sleep before commuting.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah.
Art historian Carla Yanni wrote a book called Living on Campus, An Architectural History of the American Dormitory, which sounds super dry, but is actually quite interesting. So the majority of my notes are from two separate Smithsonian Magazine articles. She says, quote, residence halls are not mute containers for the temporary storage of youthful bodies and emergent minds, but instead they reveal and constitute historical evidence of the educational ideals of the people who built them.
Mm-hmm.
So the first U.S. colleges were sponsored by Protestant denominations and tended to be isolated in rural locations or small towns in order to distance students from the corrupting influence of the city.
Hello, Hamilton College.
I was thinking about Hamilton the entire time.
Yeah, it was built in 1812.
It's in the middle of
nowhere.
Ner.
nowhere.
The rural.
It's in a rural area with Isolation, Yanni said, allowed an institution to, quote, imprint its specific morality upon its followers. Dormitories were necessary when local rooming houses lacked enough berths for students, BERTHS.
Okay, I was
not
like, excuse?
like birth,
Still-
not birth.
Low birth rate.
There was a low birth rate in these local rooming houses. But they also fit with the missionary spirit of these early institutions. Administrators emphasized the need for a moral education as well as an academic one, so the undergraduate experience took on a semi-monastic aura.
Yeah, my college was literally like a city on a hill in the middle of Nur.
Ner.
And it was like impossible to get anywhere from there.
There's like a church,
there.
there's like a chapel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a chapel on top of a very steep hill. And everything happened at the top of the hill. And then like once a week, you would like venture down the hill to get dollar drinks at the one dive bar and then somehow find a way back up the hill.
Because it's not like they were cabs.
No, there wasn't Uber. There wasn't.
Middle of Ner.
No, yeah. It was nothing. Oh, God.
So in the colonial period, which is not what Kenyon was just referencing, believe it or not, college buildings were often single, multi-purpose structures that housed all the functions of a school, including the president's home, faculty apartments, student bedrooms, a chapel, a library, a dining hall, and classrooms. So the dorms were the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
Harvard's first governing board reported in 1671, quote, "It is well known what advantage to learning accrues by the multitude of persons cohabiting for scholastical communion, whereby to acquate? I don't know. This is old-timey spelling. Acquate the minds of one another and other ways to promote the ends of a college society. Keeping the students away from the rest of the world would serve eventually to create America's first crop of Puritan ministers, which is just what we needed."
Yeah, sounds great.
So these are the ones that burned all the fucking witches. Alleged witches.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The initial purposes of dormitories didn't last terribly long. Ben Franklin, for example, was less interested in the moral or pedagogical, I don't know how to say that,
You did it. You nailed it.
pedagogical benefits of his collegiate years than in socializing with other members of his class in order to find friends, business partners, and future brothers-in-law.
Ugh, meat market.
I don't think they meant... Well, maybe. They're just like, hey, you're smart and you could be useful to me. You should meet my sister.
Yeah, definitely.
This gave rise to purpose-built fraternity houses, the first of which was the Zeta Psi House at the University of California, Berkeley in the 1870s, which was really just a house funded by alumni.
Really weird to think that frat houses started at Berkeley. That's bizarre.
I mean, there were fraternities, but these were like the ones
the
with
house.
like purposes that were funded by the alumni. I don't think that was the case with like, because there were fraternities
Right.
of various kinds throughout history or whatever. But I think this is like the academic, what we know of now as a
The
fraternity.
fish one. Okay.
A fish.
Eventually,
Soup's a fish.
yum. Eventually, more frats cropped up and more alumni wanted to fund them and build these grand mansions to boast of their fraternity's contribution to the college. This new emphasis on wealth gave the impression, the accurate impression, that frats were wealthy, expansive, and inclusive, which were sentiments already built into the American collegiate experience. And this goes without saying, these were also very white, male, Protestant sentiments. And so these dorms were almost always segregated.
Yeah. Expansive and exclusive. I think you misspoke.
What did I say?
Inclusive.
Oh, I definitely meant exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. Exclusive, white, male, Protestant, and segregated. So, for example, the Harvard Indian College was built in 1655 specifically so that white students wouldn't have to live with Native students. Many students of color, especially Black students, if they were even allowed to study at a particular college, were often not allowed to live on campus.
Cool.
Women were, of course, segregated as well, as more middle and upper class women began pursuing degrees around the mid-19th century. Because they were expected to eventually become homemakers, like once their dreams of higher education.
Yeah, once they
they
get that
had
out
a-
of their system.
Had their little fun.
Yeah,
once
go
they
have your
settled
little school
down.
vacation and then you come back and have a baby.
So they didn't live in dormitories. They lived in buildings that were more like cottages that reflected a real home so they could like practice
Train.
their
Ugh.
domesticity.
Gross.
This also made it easier for male students to evaluate potential future wives.
Oh,
Isn't that gross?
oh my God.
I mean, I'd love to live in a cottage on a college campus, but not for that reason.
I don't want to
No.
be evaluated by my like tidying
Hookups.
ability. Can you
Oh my
imagine?
God.
I just want it for like witchcraft and being left alone.
Right.
Yeah. Cottage core.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What else would you use a cottage for?
Right.
The early 20th century brought a dose of environmental determinism to college dorms. So that means like your environment determines your status in life. It was a really like Victorian concept. But anyway, in the early 20th century, we had like kind of a Victorian resurgence / like death throes. That concept was brought to the college dorms, introducing deans and other university administrators to help guide students into responsible and civic-minded adulthood. So they sort of acted as parent figures.
And weren't there also like dorm mothers for like
Totally.
male and female dorms where they like, oversaw like the cooking and the,
I mean, there are still those people in fraternities
RA.
and sororities.
Yeah.
There's still like, in a lot of them, an older person who lives there who cooks for you and like keeps shit under control.
It's wild to me.
Yeah.
So there were these parental figures, I think a lot more commonly at this time. But thanks to the GI Bill and after World War II, a new influx of students challenged this emphasis on campus living. So living on campus, because there simply was not enough space to house all of these people who now wanted to go to college.
And had the means to for the first time.
Yeah, we talked about like the rise of the middle class and how like post World War II was just like a huge upheaval economically and socially and whatever.
Because the government subsidized education. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And
That
I mean,
could
it's
help
also,
build the middle class.
and it's also important to note that like the government subsidized education, which is great, but they subsidize
For white
education and
people.
housing for white people.
Right.
Like pretty much exclusively, including with the GI Bill with like all this dog whistle language. So like, that's part of it too.
I mean,
It's
I
like,
think
let's give economic advantages to a middle class that we particularly want.
I very intentionally did not go into the
Right. It's a
white
lot.
supremacy aspect of American colleges because
It's everywhere. It's in everything. It's men all.
it's too much for this episode.
Yeah.
This is not where we're going today. Okay, so more people wanting to live on more people attending college, more people wanting to live on campus, issues with housing. This led to the growth of the type of modernist high-rises that this author Carla Yanni's colleagues so lamented. I guess I skipped that part. Basically, she started writing this book because she was talking to some of her fellow professors at a college, and they were like, look at these hideous fucking buildings. Like, who built that? What were they thinking? And she's like,
That's my thesis now.
what do you mean? What were they thinking? Let's dive in.
I mean, Hamilton, again, had, it was a small campus, but it was cut in half. There was like a central like road down the middle. And on one half was like the original old college with like the old pretty buildings and
Old
like
campus and new campus.
Yeah, literally,
You mostly lived on old campus, but then your junior and senior year, you were in new campus.
I feel like
With the rugby guys.
I feel like a lot of college campuses are split up like that.
yeah, we literally called it the light side and the dark side.
New campus was ugh.
Yeah. So
Uggo.
the dark side, the newer side, was built in like the 60s. It was very brutalist architecture.
All
it had
concrete.
like all concrete.
That's
and
where
like
you lived.
Big giant sophomore year I lived there. Big giant windows, and like these dorms were like absolutely not designed for Northeast winters. There was no insulation. Like they had been taken like whole hog from like some campus in like Arizona, and they were like,
my
great.
God.
They
plop
were
that
probably
here.
built in a panic because they didn't have beds for all the students that they wanted to take money from for them to attend their school.
Well, it was originally the dark side was the women's college, and it had a different name, and it was like the sister school and whatever, and it was built in the 60s. And then when they merged the two, they were like, okay, great. These two totally disparate looking places are now one place, and we're going to put all the tours and freshmen on the pretty side.
Yeah. They
to
put up
lure
like a
you in.
giant partition. Like, oh, that's under construction.
And then sophomores and juniors
Pay no attention
are
to the campus
shoved
behind the
to the
curtain.
campus
the dark
behind the curtain.
side. And then seniors can choose, so they would choose like the pretty light side. But yeah, it was not cute, some of that architecture from the 60s, let me tell
That's
you.
hilarious. I remember
fun
eating
as
pizza
hell.
in that rugby dorm so distinctly.
Oh, that rugby dorm.
I can
lived
smell
with the-
that dorm.
Yep.
And I was there
rugby
once.
team.
The fucking concrete walls, though, very dorm, like classic dorm. And I didn't get this injury at Kenyon's college, but I did at another dorm get a sexual injury for which I still have a scar because I was on top in this guy's like twin bed that he
Extra
had
long
against
twin.
Extra long twin that he had
On
against
You have
on
to
risers.
special order your sheets.
Yep, that he had against a wall,
Yep.
and it was just
Oh, the
concrete
hand scrape on
block. No, my knee. I had like had my knee kind of like for pushing.
Yeah.
I don't want to roll my chair away for stability.
For, pushing.
For pushing, and I scraped the flesh.
Yeah.
And I was in the throes of passion, so I didn't notice at the time. Get done, I'm like, Jesus Christ, my knee is on fire. What the fuck? Scraped all my skin off. Still have a scar there.
Yep. Concrete will get you.
She'll fuck you up.
Concrete is unsuspecting, especially like that 70s concrete.
Oh yeah.
Our dorms also on the dark side were all like interconnected. So it wasn't like there wasn't a hallway. You could just go from like the common room of one suite straight into the common room of another suite.
There was not enough privacy in there.
No. So like we had rooms that you could lock the door, but I don't think you could lock the door to the common room. So people could just cycle
Be
through
in your space.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't like
know,
that.
dude. It
I
was
don't
wild.
like it.
Fun, but weird.
Okay,
The
so
Kenyon Lang story.
these oppressively modernist high-rise cookie-cutter dorms were relatively quick and inexpensive to build. As Carla Yanni writes, however, quote, modernist architecture, this is what we're talking about. Modernist architecture was, by its very nature, rigid and repetitive, and quickly became a metaphor for the misery that dorm dwellers felt about their lives as subjugated students.
Yep.
Wow.
It was pretty dark.
That's fucking
There
dark.
was no Wi-Fi.
She is not wrong. Wi-Fi
cell
did
service.
not exist.
Didn't exist.
Oh yeah, no Wi-Fi. It had started to exist because it was specifically banned. My sophomore year of college, it was illegal to have a Wi-Fi router in your dorm room, and you could
for
get
God's sake.
like expelled
Why?
if they found one because they thought it was a security risk.
Oh, well, at the time it probably was.
I had a secret Wi-Fi router.
Everyone did.
I remember having to buy a $20 purple Ethernet cord from the school.
They were so long; they were like 50 feet long.
They were really fucking
Gen
long.
Z is having a fucking going into a coma, as they say, as they listen to
I
this.
also
but
had
they're also not listening.
I also
to
had a
this stuff.
landline in my dorm.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
It was a big deal when they implemented key card access
Oh,
to
yeah.
our dorm buildings. They didn't do that till senior year. We had physical keys.
Metal
keys.
keys on a
Yep.
ring.
Yep.
I had that my entire dorm experience. We never had key cards.
Yeah, we had key cards and we were of two minds about it because then they could like track where you
Yeah,
were. Not
when
that
you're
anyone
going.
was actually looking at that data, but we were like, they're tracking us.
We really did come
I'm not
of
getting that
age
vaccine. They're
at
tripping us.
at a really unique point in technological history.
Yeah.
Because we did not have digital cameras in high school. We didn't have cell phones in high school. We had to write notes and
I mean, I
make
had a cell phone in high
scrapbooks.
school, but
I borrowed my dad's cell phone my senior year of high school.
Yeah, senior year I got one, I think.
that's when I got one too. Otherwise, borrowed my mom's.
Okay, subjugated students. These residence halls made students feel anonymous, more like products than people, and which was a feeling at odds with what Yanni terms, quote, the calls for radical change being heard in the 1960s. So she writes, students rejected these in loco parentis, which was sort of that administrative people who like kept an eye on them to make sure they were developing into good civic-minded adults. So
Little
students were like,
Puritans.
students were saying, we don't need caretaking. We are adults and want to be treated as such. So this radicalism manifested itself in the students' living arrangements. This is so cool. Integrated dormitories and projects like Kresge College at the University of California in Santa Cruz, which tried to imitate the, quote, urbanism of an Italian hill town.
Cool.
Oh my God, this is reminding me of Monte Casino, the like casino and shopping mall complex that was
Grand
by my
Casino
house
Hinckley.
in South Africa.
Oh, God.
It's like Epcot, but
Yeah,
a
like
small
Epcot.
Italian town.
Drinking
but
around the world.
But a casino and
It's
shopping
Vegas.
mall.
Listen
It's
to
Vegas.
how magical
It's the
this
Venetian.
sounds. The residential area built around the site's redwoods included not just dormitories, but also cafes, laundrettes, meeting spaces, and classrooms in what were termed living learning units.
I want to go to a laundrette.
I know.
Too. That sounds darling.
Some of
This is
these
so
units
charming.
Some of these units had no interior walls at all, as residents themselves were supposed to divide up the space based on communal agreement. That's a little bit 60s for me. But
Zach's
the rest
middle
of it,
school is like that. It's
A
where
cult.
it's basically the building is shaped like a donut, and there are no interior walls. The whole middle school, and I don't know. It works. It's cool. They have like bookcases and things to like divide up the space.
So it's like a donut, but then like the center is maybe like windows, and then it's like slices of a pie. Each room is like that.
there are no walls.
slices.
How do they do separate classes?
They use furniture and
That gives me hives. It reminds me of an open workspace that has been attempted in corporate America, and I fucking hate it. Can't get anything done. Someone's always behind you. No.
it doesn't
Don't like
work
it.
for everyone. I like to work in a little cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass for me, but good for you, Zach.
All right, I just have a little bit left. So Yanni goes on to talk about the recent trend of super elaborate dormitories that are more like apartments than standard student housing, strengthening the argument that the college experience today, like I said before, is as much a transition into adulthood as it ever was. So her last quote, dormitories are a measure of the fact that Americans value higher education for networking as much as for higher education.
Yeah, now some of the dorms, not to sound like an absolute baby fucking boomer, but some of the dorms
Back in
now
my day.
are really nice. They're like luxury apartments.
They have their own bathrooms.
Back
You
in
don't
my
have a
day,
communal
we
bathroom.
scarred our sexual knees on concrete walls and
We
couldn't
had
have
to-
a Wi-Fi.
We had to work though to get that private bathroom.
I had to
and
walk
now they're
uphill
just out
both
here giving it to
ways.
freshmen. It's bullshit.
Well, that said, I saw the dorms that my students lived in China,
Yeah,
and
those
they were bad.
Yeah, that was
Really
actual
bad.
like stacked bunk
Boxes.
beds and
Ugh.
There
no
were like
windows.
8 girls to a room.
No.
You just had your cot.
You
like
only
your,
had your area, and then you shared a desk with
No.
one other girl. And then they'd have dorm room, like long halls of these dorm rooms. Hall is generous too, because the hall was outside. There was no heat. They shared bathrooms that were probably
Concrete and
100
tile.
girls to a bathroom.
Yikes.
Yeah, not great. So we like to bitch about our dorm experiences, but
yeah, we still had it pretty good.
I just have a couple of fun facts for us about dorms.
Okay.
Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey has the largest residence hall system in the U.S. So there are 16,429 students who live within a myriad of housing options, including apartments, suites, and graduate housing. Watterson Towers at Illinois State University are among the tallest resident halls in the world. Very tall. It's a 28-story complex, which was built in 1967 and holds over 2,200 students.
Holy shit! I think our tallest was like 4 stories.
Well, also even taller with 33 floors is Chapter Spitalfields in London. That's the world's tallest
Spitalfield.
student accommodations building.
London is off their rocker.
I know.
Spitalfield.
The Valkendorf's Collegium, with a K, at the University of Copenhagen was founded in 1589.
That's old.
Late for
Imagine
Europe.
living in a dorm that was built in 1589.
I
Imagine the
can't.
ghosts.
Yeah. That's some Hogwarts shit.
So this is among the oldest dormitories in the world. Some dorms at Oxford and Cambridge are older, but this is one of the oldest dorms in the world.
Wow.
Speaking of old ass dorms, one of my cousins went to UVA because she's a fucking genius. And I think for graduate school at UVA, she was selected to like stay in this very
Haunted.
elite part of campus, like this elite whatever, like everyone like applies to live in these like special old or like original cottages.
Yeah, I get it. Cottages.
Yeah. But no bathroom at all.
Oh.
I think no plumbing at all. She had to walk like, 15 yards or whatever outdoors to a bathroom.
No.
That absolutely not. I don't care
But
how
they, like-
pretty and old and fancy and ghostly it is. I am gonna piss. If I can't piss and shit within 10 steps, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm just not fucking going.
The anxiety of not having a bathroom
I'd lose it.
at
I'd lose it.
at a comfortable location, like in the middle of the night. You got to
I
go
know.
pee.
I don't
you
think people
imagine?
understand that, like, my bowels are a constant emergency.
Right?
It's always an emergency.
Yeah.
It's never not. So,
Yeah.
like, that is not gonna work for
No.
me.
I know.
Did she live there?
Mm-hmm.
That's no.
It was like an honor to live there, or just
No.
a exercise
A
in
dare.
amazing branding
No.
work
Mm.
for them to be like, how do we sell these buildings?
Bathroomless husks.
Fucking yikes.
We
I
make
hate
them
that.
have to apply. We make them
Mhm.
want it.
It's
exclusive.
exclusive.
Yeah.
This is some goop shit.
Yeah, this is some luxury brand psychology bullshit.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm Googling it.
Last but not least, the Capstone House at University of South Carolina in Columbia, completed in 1967, standing at 18 stories, has the only revolving restaurant on an American college campus. It's located at the 18th floor and is known as Top of Carolina Dining Room.
Wow. And they charge a lot for bad chicken tenders so that you can spin around while you eat. If the spinning
feel
mechanism is working.
Alumni paid for that bullshit.
God bless.
College.
Stupid.
Anyway, that's my segment. I tried to
Love
make it
it.
as interesting as possible.
Well done.
It was gorgeous. I loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
All right.
Well-
Quick sponsor break and then back to my case.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. I live in Minnesota, and so it has been endless winter
Endless.
here.
More
Eh.
this past weekend.
More this past weekend, we actually had the third highest record snowfall in Minnesota this year. So it's been a really hard winter. It has affected my life deeply. I do already suffer from seasonal affective disorder, but this has been a particularly tough one. And I'm just feeling very blessed that I have been in therapy for a hot minute. But like, honestly, Talkspace really made this winter a lot more bearable than it otherwise would have been. And when I first started therapy, I was really nervous about it. I wasn't sure how to get started. I had done in-person therapy before. And then when we started working with Talkspace, it seriously has been such a game changer. Like, I'm a millennial. I want to be able to just text or send a voice memo. You know, I don't want to have to get in my car or put on a bra or leave my house. I just don't want to do that. I want to do it at home where I'm the most comfortable. And Talkspace has made that possible for me. Tell us more, Lucy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of perceived barriers are like accessibility and affordability when it comes to therapy, and Talkspace addresses both of those. It is seriously designed for anyone and everyone. And also, don't wait.
Yeah.
Because once you need therapy, you need it.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
always good to like find a therapist, get to know them, and then just kind of you're able to work at your own pace. It's amazing. Like Amanda said, you can text them, you can video call them. It is millennial approved. So at Talkspace.com, you can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that is right for you, typically within 48 hours, so that the speed at which you are matched is so crucial and so great. It's incredibly convenient to have virtual sessions with your licensed therapist from the comfort of your home. Talkspace is secure and private, using the latest end-to-end bank-grade encryption technology to store client information, and they comply just all the way with the latest HIPAA regulations. So it's nothing that you really got to worry about. So as a listener of this podcast, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/gals. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/gals to get $100 off your first month and show your support for this show. One more time, that's Talkspace.com/gals, and treat your brain.
Treat it.
What's your love language? Is it physical touch or time together with your partner? That's mine personally, quality time.
I love quality time.
People get turned on in all sorts of ways, all sorts. And Dipsea has invented a whole new love language with sexy stories for whatever mood you're in.
Seriously, Dipsea is the best. It's an app full of hundreds of short, sexy audio stories designed by women for everyone. And they bring scenarios to life with immersive soundscapes and realistic characters. And you can discover stories about, I don't know, second chance romances, adventurous vacation flings, hot and heavy hookups.
In the library.
Oh, that's a good one. In the stacks. It's also radically inclusive, so Dipsea has stories for straight and queer listeners, and 56% of stories are voice acted by people of color, and you have never heard celebrities like this before, okay? So you can listen to stories voiced by Serranos J. Jackson. I don't know about y'all, but I am a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, so I am like already so in love with ER Fightmaster, and to know that they do these stories is like, sending me. And also Luke Cook, shout out to Luke Cook, God bless. And there's new content released every week, so in between listening to your favorite stories over and over and over again, you can always find something new to explore. And they also have soothing sleep stories, they have wellness sessions, and then sexy stories that you can read if your headphones aren't charged.
Yeah, if you gotta be
pull
quiet.
up the readable story. So let Dipsea be your go-to place to spice up your me time, explore your fantasies, relax and unwind, or heat things up with a partner.
For listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/gals. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/gals. One more time, dipseastories.com/gals. And treat your you time.
Treat it.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, but yeah.
No, it's really, really sad. I tried to pad it with some not sad at the beginning, so
Some not sad.
Some not
so
sad,
get your
some
laughs
happy.
in now. So this case was picked, like I said, by our fan picker, Kelly Tobin, who is a Seton Hall pirate.
Go Pirates.
Oh, okay.
As far as school mascots go, especially because it was founded in 1856, I think Pirates is
Not
actually
bad.
pretty good.
Wow. Super woke.
We're the Hamilton. Hamilton is the Continentals, like the Continental soldiers, like from
the continental breakfast
from
Holiday
Like throw
Inn.
it over your shoulder.
Well, they're like a continental soldier.
Yeah, like from the Revolutionary War, Continental soldiers.
Dang.
Did the founders'
Wow.
ears hang low or what?
But so people would say "Go Conts," CONTS. And
No.
no, it gets worse.
Go, come.
It gets
Go
worse.
Cons.
So then,
Icon.
for grad school, I went to Tufts, and Tufts' thing is an elephant, and they're the jumbos. So I'm a jumbo con.
I'll say.
I am definitely special ordering you a jumbo cont, like collegiate sweatshirt.
I want a bumper sticker. I have to like
My
design it.
daughter is a jumbo cat. Proud parent of a jumbo cat.
My son is gay.
Sir, my son.
I desperately want that as a bumper sticker if anyone wants to design it with Hamilton College and Tufts University.
I want to get a baby on board sticker, but it just says my adult son on board.
My giant Kant on board.
Huge.
Okay, anyway, so I had to share that. Okay.
Wait, I was in Nashville last
Wait.
week, and their hockey team is called the Predators.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they shorten it to Preds.
Oh, yeah.
Go Preds.
Yeah.
Not good.
You gotta do better,
It's-
guys.
Yeah. Well, predator is that's a mouthful, It's
Preds.
a lot to pronounce.
I'll take
Also-
Panthers any day.
Yeah. Weird associations there. Okay. Moving on. So, Seton Hall University is in South Orange, New Jersey. It is the oldest Catholic diocesan. I don't know how to say that. University, like diocese.
Yes.
Got it.
Diocese.
Yeah,
Diocese.
sure.
In the U.S., it was founded in 1856, just 3 years after the Diocese of Newark was established by Pope Pius IX, who was an asshat. I Googled it.
I Googled it. It said he's an asshat.
He's an asshat. Confirmed.
Tap hit, asshat.
The first bishop of
Suggested.
Newark named the university after his aunt. And there's a photo of this lovely lady on the drive.
Is she a huge cunt? Is his aunt a huge cunt?
My God. My
Seemed
aunt's a
nice, very Catholic. So Mother Elizabeth Ann Seton.
Oh.
Her bonnet.
Yes. So she is.
She has a severe
She is
profile.
always pictured in that bonnet. Every
That
si-
was the bonnet.
Yeah.
That bonnet.
She eventually became the first American-born Catholic saint, and she has her own shrine in Maryland, which is open daily, and it is just minutes from the National Fire Academy. So
Wow.
it all circles back.
Good for her.
Oh no. Oh no.
So Seton Hall today is home to just over 6,000 undergraduate students and almost 4,000 graduate students. Zach, inexplicably, is a Seton Hall basketball fan,
Men, I don't understand you.
and
There's no explanation.
there is an explanation, and the explanation is that his
But didn't you say inexplicably?
Yeah, but now I'm
now
gonna
there is an
explain it.
explanation.
And now I'm going to explain it.
Zach is a Seton Hall basketball fan.
Explicably.
It's because his best friend growing up's dad got like corporate season tickets or something. And so they used to go to a bunch of these basketball games. I don't know.
For God's sakes.
Okay, so I tried to look up to see if they'd ever won a national championship, but I literally couldn't figure out what the scores meant.
What? Like 10 to 2?
It was like information overload on the Wikipedia because it was like Sweet 16, Final 8, Final 4, win, loss record, blah, 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 coaching season X. It was way too much data in one place. I could
Well, you
not.
also super do not want to ask Zach what that means because you would never be able to leave.
I would be trapped forever. So no. So I don't know. Okay. Some notable alumni are Naturi Naughton, a former member of a little indie band you may have heard of, 3LW.
Oh my God.
Play
Is that the one where they're
play.
like getting a little tired of your promises?
Yeah.
My favorite was the one who kind of sounded like she had a speech impediment.
No more, baby, I'm a
Do
do right.
Yep.
Okay,
Can't-
got it.
That was their number one hit. And then,
Getting a little tired of your
Promises.
promises.
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
all coming
Also, a
back.
ton of New Jersey politicians went to Seton Hall, including Governor Chris Christie. And I put a picture of him on the Jersey Shore yelling at someone holding an ice cream cone.
He's just yelling at the sun. He's not yelling at
That
a
was like the
person.
moment that his hopes of any kind of like future political career ended, was when he
No,
just
it's
was
not.
like,
This man's still in it.
he's trying.
He's wearing an
We had-
Italian American flag shirt.
Listen, I love Chris Christie.
Chris Christie angry holding an ice cream
The picture
cone
of
is so
Chris
good.
Christie on the beach after he had told like everyone to evacuate for
He's
like
alone
Hurricane
on the
Sandy or
Jersey
some shit.
Shore.
And he was just like enjoying the shore by himself.
Thinking he wouldn't get photographed doing that. What a
I love that
fucking
man.
idiot.
I mean, like he's horrible, but you get it. I love him.
Oh, it's like the only good thing Donald Trump has ever done was like
It's called shut down
destroy
Chris.
Chris Christie.
Has he been arrested yet? It's already 3
Actually
o'clock.
use this man as human toilet paper.
Oh yeah, bullying Chris Christie is so funny.
Okay.
And the fact that Trump did it,
It's the only good thing
epic.
he's ever done in his life.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, U.S. Supreme Court Justice and destroyer of reproductive rights, Samuel Alito. On a totally different end of the spectrum, King God among men, Dulé Hill from The West Wing. famously fictional character Anthony Soprano, who in his storyline dropped out after a semester and a half. So
What about Sucre from Prison Break?
I don't think Sucre was a college grad, but
Good for him.
I feel like
Me and Sucre got something in
I
common.
feel like he would have fit in well at Seton Hall, if I'm being honest. Like it's not
I like this.
it's not right.
Great.
Okay. All right, enough case padding. So on to this horrific, senseless tragedy.
Cool.
Enough of the not sad. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, it's really sad. But there are moments of perseverance and
Levity?
renewal. No, not really moments of levity. Okay.
It's going to get my oney out again.
In the 1999-2000 school year, Boland Hall was the largest freshman dorm on campus, and it had dealt with a lot of false fire alarms during the school year.
That is a common theme on a college campus. People love to get drunk and pull the fire alarm. And this case is why you don't do that.
Yes, it is.
It's so bad. I was telling Kenyon earlier, I kept like running into her case while I was looking for stuff to cover.
Mhm.
And I didn't read that much about it, but it like everything points back to this
Don't fuck with
as
fire
a cautionary
alarms.
tale. Yeah,
It's
I don't know this
not
case at
funny.
all.
Okay, well,
Also, we were evacuated at like 2 a.m. one time from Campbell Hall because somebody put a bunch of tinfoil in the microwave in our hallway.
Yep, that starts fires. That's legit.
At least that's
Yeah.
an accident.
It was not an accident.
Oh,
They put it on and then turned it on for like 30 minutes. And then our friend Dirk Blurk was walking down the hall and he saw it smoking. So he opened it and like flames shot out at him. And upon his retelling, he just screamed, "Holy moly!" And then the fire alarm went
now you
off.
could have.
Kenyon probably means like a drunk, like someone probably didn't put that in
They
there
did it.
to light the thing on
No,
fire.
I think they did.
Well, that's really.
It was arson.
It was just tinfoil in the
Oh,
microwave
shit.
for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
that would be arson.
Because I did read a story about a guy who who was so hammered that he came home, put a Pop-Tart in the microwave, but never took the Pop-Tarts out of the foil wrap, and then thought he was nuking it for 60 seconds, but he put it on for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And woke up to his dorm on fire. But he was just asleep. He had passed out and he was so drunk he had no idea.
Microwaves should have a setting where if you try to put
It
it on
auto
for
shut
more
off.
than 3 minutes,
It says,
asks
"Are you sure?"
Are you sure?
It's
could
got a
save
built-in
lives.
breathalyzer.
No one would ever be able to eat mac and cheese ever
You have to
again.
blow for
Basically, the
10
only
full
time I use the
seconds.
microwave is when I'm drunk. So I would never be able to
But
use
it
the
shouldn't
microwave.
let you put it on for more than 3 minutes. Like, how often do you need a microwave for more than 3 minutes?
Popcorn.
Never. Popcorn's usually 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes for popcorn.
Okay. Anyway, well, so a lot of false fire alarms at this dorm that year.
There's been a fire.
Or has there?
So now
There has.
the institution of Seton Hall was no stranger to fires in its history. In fact, in 1867, a fire destroyed the school's first building. Then just 20 years later, in 1886, another fire burned down their new main building. And again, in 1909, another fire burned down a classroom and several dorms. But these are all like,
Littler fires.
big fires, but like in the 1800s and like pre-electricity, like fires happened a lot more often back then.
Right.
So nobody's thinking about that in 1999, or actually early 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time of our case, these incidents were in the distant past, and the university's focus at the turn of the new millennium, besides, impending doom from Y2K,
Oh, yeah.
was launching a program designed to try to stop the annoying fire alarm pranks. There had even been RA meetings about the dangers of pulling the fire alarm as a joke in all of the residence halls earlier in the school year, but the false alarms kept occurring because fucking freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like one person doing this? Or it's
No.
just a widespread joke?
It was like
Yeah.
a widespread joke. It sounds like a lot of people were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to excuse it, but it was happening so often that people were not taking
Leaving.
fire alarms seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So one student, Nicole Nacera, later reflected on this case, saying that when the fire alarm went off that night, quote, nobody wanted to get up because we had to get up the next morning for finals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was finals week when we had to be evacuated too.
Yeah,
I remember
people
that.
A lot of these pranks happen during finals week because people are like finishing their last final at different times, so they get wasted and party and like pull pranks on each other.
Yeah, and they think it's
fucking
really funny to
stupid.
like fuck with people.
Fuck with other people's grades, basically.
So in the early morning hours of January 19th, 2000, 2 students decided to take the fire alarm prank one step further by, actually starting a fire.
How the fuck? This is like if the Dwight Schrute office safety scene had killed a lot of fucking people.
Basically, yeah. So it was around 4:30 a.m., which is really when like the good ideas start flowing.
Mm-hmm.
When students Sean, Ryan, and Joseph Lepore set fire to a banner in their Boland Hall dorm. It almost goes without saying that both Ryan and Lepore were drunk at the time and thought setting fire to the banner would be a great prank.
It's hilarious. I love
So
it.
they thought that the fire alarm would go off and make everyone have to go outside in 20-degree weather, and it's finals week, and hardy har har. And so Ryan lit a match, and they both passed it back and forth, like dicking around, before flicking it onto the banner, which we can assume was not an NCAA championship banner, although there's no way to know.
Because I cannot read these stats and I refuse to ask my husband. Anyway.
Actually, we do know it was a paper banner, but it was draped over a couch.
Okay.
And also,
NCAA championship.
So a paper banner draped over an additional incendiary device.
Like a couch, like
couch.
especially like a cheapy
A dorm
couch from the year 2000. Like
They're made of gasoline.
it's
Right.
just pure flammable material
Just straight fossil fuels.
and like arsenic
It's wood pulp and like ground cardboard boxes
And
are the
chemicals.
stuffing.
it's the most tardent.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
the most
tardent. No, but like really, it is.
Yeah, it is. I could picture exactly
Yeah.
what this couch
Yeah,
looks
I
like.
can smell it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can smell it.
It's so scratchy.
Yeah.
It's so
nubby.
scratchy.
It's
Brown,
Yes.
dry,
orange.
humping. It's
like
maroon.
why are each, or it's either brown,
And striped.
orange, maroon, or like a really dank navy blue.
Mm.
Yuck.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it probably used to be green, but now it's brown.
Now it's navy blue.
Now it's just semen colored.
Oh,
So, all right, here's the part where your adult brain is really gonna want
freak the fuck
to
out.
smack these two, because not only do they think, oh, it's gonna be funny, it's a fire alarm prank, by starting an actual fire on a fucking amazingly flammable couch.
Mm-hmm.
But then after they light the fire, they go back to their room, leaving it to burn in the common room, waiting for that alarm to go off. So they don't even like
So they wouldn't be
monitor-
caught.
Yeah. They light it and leave it.
That's nuts.
So the fire quickly spread across the third floor lounge and reached up to 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit in under 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's hotter than a cremation pit.
Yeah. Because
that's
of
some
this,
body burning temps.
this couch, basically, because there was no
Yeah.
other, they didn't like use gasoline or any other accelerant, but like that couch alone was enough to just.
Tardent.
Mm-hmm.
So it spread so fast, even again without an accelerant, that the fire burned hot enough to melt the hall's carpet.
Yeah.
And this is a devastating detail because many of the fleeing students were severely injured because when they were trying to escape, they had to crawl over that melted, burning carpet in order to get to the exit, like to the stairs.
Oh my God.
Because there's
Also-
smoke, so you can't stand up.
Right.
So you're
well, that's what they say to
crawling.
do. Stay low. And like the carpet melting is horrific and it's extremely intense. And like I know that there is an active fire in here, but also to the point of like all of the factors in this. I was reading another thing, not about this case, but about some dorm stories where someone literally spilled like hot coffee on the carpet and it melted their carpet. Because like these dorms are made out of cheap materials.
Yep.
The carpet is like rayon plastic blend.
Yep.
Like this shit is not only incredibly
glue
flammable, but
is-
like it's all now in smoke. And so people are choking on these like toxic fucking chemicals
Yep.
as they're like crawling to get out. Like that carpet was going to melt if you fucking spilled boiling water on it either way. But it's like such cheapy crap.
There's something too about
It just makes it all worse.
I don't know if this happened in this specific case, but speculating, I remember seeing a Forensic Files episode where like carpet was installed using like diesel fuel or something as like a cheaper version of an adhesive. There was like some cost-cutting corner taken involving like fuel and adhesive to apply carpet.
To make it extremely flammable underneath the carpet.
Yeah.
I would imagine too that those kinds of carpets in those environments get cleaned with like really heavy industrial chemicals every now and then. So they're probably just
It's a tinderbox.
probably just disgusting.
That's all that to say. Exactly, Kenyon. It's a fucking tinderbox. Like these poor kids don't stand a chance.
No, it's absolutely horrific. So, and it happened so fast. And it's the middle of the night. It's 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no one is thinking straight. Everyone's fucking asleep.
sleeping.
Half the place is drunk,
Yeah.
passed out because it's fucking finals week. Like, it's just, this was the perfect storm of absolute fucking horror.
So in total, about 600 students escaped from the dorm, which is almost miraculous.
It's a miracle.
Most were able to get to the stairs and escape, but some actually jumped 40 feet to the ground in order to escape the blaze because they would like open their dorm room and see that the hallway and the carpet
It's
is
full of fire.
Yeah.
Hear people screaming.
Yeah.
My God. Oh my God.
So Nicholas Donato jumped from his window, breaking his ankle and wrist in the process, which like that's fucking terrifying having to jump 40 feet.
yeah, and now you have broken bones and you have to just like crawl away to safety.
He said that the smoke was so intense that even though he knew where the exit was, he couldn't find it through like the haze of the smoke.
Yeah, it's like a wall of black smoke. And it's the middle of the night, so I'm sure most lights are off.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
he like tried to find the exit, couldn't, went back to his room, closed the door, opened the window, and jumped out.
Oh my God. I mean, good thinking.
I mean, he
That was
survived,
like
yeah.
very quick thinking.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Some students tied bed sheets together and were preparing to climb out the windows, but they were rescued by the fire department who arrived at the scene. So, you know, it's a big dorm. So like certain rooms had more time than
For
others
sure.
if they were
Before it
farther
spread.
away from the third floor lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I've never seen, and like, have you ever tried the bed sheets thing out of a window?
I've never tried it personally. I've like seen it on TV.
Like tying
I've
bed
never
sheets
actually
together.
Yeah.
to make a rope.
Yeah.
No, I've never tried that myself.
Right.
Have you?
No, I've seen it in Practical Magic and like cartoons, but
Right, exactly.
okay. I don't know.
I've ripped a bed sheet before, and they actually do rip in a fairly straight line.
They
So
did,
if
'cause
you
of
were
the
to
fabric,
rip
yeah.
a bed sheet into like 3 or 4 strips, tie all those together.
Right,
think
that's,
it's
I'm sure that's
possible.
what they did.
It must be
basically.
real.
I think it is real.
Are you questioning whether that is a real thing?
I'm questioning whether, like, how effective it would be, if it would work.
I think it would
I
be
think
pretty
it would work.
effective.
Yeah. Okay.
My question was, how many extra sets of sheets did I have in my dorm room?
That you were chill ripping one of them up.
Well, to
No,
survive.
Well, right.
I'm saying to tie them together.
Yeah, I feel like I had one set of sheets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Right?
have 2 sets of sheets.
I don't think I did.
So that's only 2 sheets. Well, top sheet. Are we talking fitted
Yeah, but if you're
sheets?
working with your neighbors on the same
Oh,
floor,
right.
I would imagine people were all grabbing all their sheets
Oh, okay.
and helping each other. That'd be my
or
guess.
if you're in like a quad or something.
Right.
We need
Okay.
answers.
All right.
I mean, I think we just got them.
Okay.
We don't need the answers.
Again, one of the reasons why it took so long for students to leave Boland Hall is because there had been so many fucking fake fire alarm things over that year that a lot believed it was another false alarm. And again, it's 4:30 a.m. It's finals week. They're drunk, whatever. And it's super cold outside. So there was a lot of like confusion and delays and whatever. So like I said, 600 students escaped, but 3, all of whom were just 18 years old, perished in the fire.
Oh,
So Aaron Carroll and Frank Caltabellata died of thermal injuries. So like literally died
Burned.
burned.
to death.
Yeah. Their bodies were found in the third floor lounge, which is where, again, the fire began. They probably had gone there either while trying to escape or
Put it
became
out.
aware of the fire first and
Right.
tried to put it out, would be my theory.
Mm-hmm.
But initially, when firefighters found them, the theory was that they had been smoking in the lounge and maybe had fallen asleep and maybe had accidentally set the fire.
Oh, so these kids are found there and they're like, oh, they might have started the fire accidentally.
Right. That's
first.
their initial theory, which
Oh,
makes sense as a theory.
it does.
But I got to imagine for the victims' loved ones, that's just like salt in the wound to like that they even for a moment were thought
Blaming.
responsible for this when they were just
right.
fucking innocent victims of this and maybe trying to help everyone
To
else.
help. I mean, that's my theory.
Yeah.
Because why else would you be in there?
Yeah. So after his death, Aaron Carroll's childhood friends started a charity in his honor, and it's called Aspiring Kindness, and it gives grants still to this day to first responders. And one of the grant recipients was the St. Barnabas Medical Center, which is home to the burn unit that provided care to a lot of the surviving victims of this fire.
That's nice.
Nice.
It's very sweet. And then Frank Caltabellata Jr., again, was 18 years old when he died. And his father told the news that Frank would tell him about hiding in his bathroom during all of these false fire alarms at school so that he wouldn't have to go out into the cold at night.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, that's really fucking sad. And the third victim who died in the fire, John Junta, he died of smoke inhalation, and he was found in his dorm room near the lounge, and he might not have even woken up. Firefighters found him when they arrived, and they took him to a stairwell and tried to revive him on site, but they were unable to. And I believe that John Junta wanted to become a teacher, and so his family also started a scholarship in his memory for students who wanted to become teachers or were studying education. It's really fucking sad. Like 3 18-year-old kids died for this.
That's such a waste.
Stupid
For nothing.
fucking prank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So up to 58 people were also seriously injured. And most were hospitalized for smoke inhalation, but some also had very, very serious burn injuries. So Sean Simons and Alvaro Llanos were both badly burned in the fire. Both had tried to exit the building using the stairwell that they normally used, but this path actually led them right to the fire because it went right past the third floor lounge. So they tried this path at first, couldn't, and then now they're delayed. They've wasted this time trying to do this one exit. Now they have to find a different exit. So Sean Simons actually had to crawl across fire, like the carpet was fire, to get to safety, meaning most of his third-degree burns were on his hands. And he spent a month in the hospital recovering, including 2 weeks in a medically induced coma.
Wow. Oh, my God.
And it was even worse for Alvaro Llanos, who opened the door to the stairwell and a fireball erupted, kind of like that microwave.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And it burned him very severely across his face and chest, because literally he just opened the door and just was awash in flame.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Like that backdraft or whatever the fuck.
The
And he
wind.
spent 9 months in the hospital, 3 of which were a medically induced coma.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
But then his full recovery took years. I mean, he's severely burned face and chest.
Oh.
So Sean and Alvaro were roommates at the time of the fire, and in the more than 2 decades since their lives were irrevocably changed, they have remained close friends and have dedicated their lives to educating youth about fire safety. So they spend about 8 months out of the year traveling to different like campuses, I think high schools and colleges, and giving like fire safety demonstrations and lectures. Like that's like their
Wow.
That's
life's
amazing.
work.
That's so
That's amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sad and so incredible that they could turn this horrific experience into a teaching opportunity like that.
And save
like,
lives.
Because you have to imagine, they're definitely saving lives, but you have to imagine they are in some capacity reliving that trauma over and over and over again as now their life's work. And that's like just really heartbreaking, but also incredible that they have found the strength to do that. I'm like blown away.
Yep. So now let me tell you about another fucking badass with an incredible name. You are going to absolutely lose your shit for this woman. She's incredible.
Okay.
And there's a photo of her on the drive. Her name is Dana Christmas. So Dana was an RA in Boland Hall, and after the fire alarms sounded, she went door to door, waking up students and getting them out of the dorms. She took her RA duties like really fucking seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Dana ran back into the fire 3 separate times.
Holy
To
shit.
wake more students up, and she checked on as many doors as she physically could until she literally collapsed with 60% of her body badly burned.
Dana Christmas.
Oh my God. Honest to Christmas, Dana Christmas.
Yeah.
Christ on
She's
a
a
Christmas.
Fucking heroine.
Holy shit.
She recalls of that night, quote, "The first time I pounded on a door, I felt my fingers singe."
The first time.
My
The first
God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is horrifying.
She could have just like saved herself, gotten the fuck out, probably wouldn't have been burned, but she suffered burns over 60% of her body and smoke inhalation and literally collapsed in the fire because she was saving so many other people.
That's amazing.
During the next 3 years, she endured over 15 surgeries, and she still doesn't have control over her right hand, and she's gone through more surgery since then. And, you know, she's dealt with, you know, like body image issues because of her burns.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's like, doesn't like to be seen without her wig on and whatever. But like, she's a fucking hero.
Mm-hmm.
In 2001, Christmas received an award for heroism, and then the award was named after her going forward for future recipients.
The Christmas Award.
I love that.
When I looked her up today, her Twitter account says that she is a reverend. She was always like very religious, and like her relationship with God kind of like got her through a lot of what she endured.
I fucking bet.
Mm-hmm.
And she is dedicated to racial justice work, and she is a domestic abuse survivor. So she is just one of the most amazing humans of all time, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after the fire, Seton Hall created tougher rules and penalties for tampering with fire alarms and failing to leave the building when the fire alarm goes off. I remember at Hamilton, like we had a point system, and basically like if you racked up 10 like penalty points or whatever, then you were expelled. But you know, drinking underage, like getting caught drinking underage was like 1 point.
Can you win them back?
Yeah, you can have them expunged after like 6 months of good behavior or something. But so like drinking underage, whatever, even like doing drugs is like 1 point. But like having a
Seems
candle
pretty
in
lenient.
your room was like automatic 6 points.
Oh my God.
It was like not fucking around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
We could have candle warmers
What?
What does that mean?
to just melt the wax. There's no flame.
Oh, those little melts. Okay.
Oh, well, we were not allowed any kind of candle, anything. I'm surprised they even let us have lighters. Incense, any of that stuff. Even getting caught with like incense sticks and nothing to light them with was like automatic 6 points.
Dang.
That seems a little unbalanced, but I'll address that when I become the dean of Hamilton.
We're trying to save lives. So, very fucking importantly, the floor of Boland Hall at this time did not have sprinklers.
Oh, no.
And
The specific floor that they lit this fire on?
yes, other floors in the dorm had sprinklers, and this floor, for whatever reason, did not have
Come
sprinklers. And
on.
sprinklers could have
Oh
prevented
my
this whole thing.
God!
Why?
The one floor in the building. Did these fucking kids know that, the boys?
I doubt it.
Of
I doubt
course
they
not.
knew it.
They're clearly fucking morons.
But of all the, I mean, God.
Yeah. So you're just wait. So they obviously installed fucking sprinklers after this. Also, not long after, New Jersey was the first state to pass a law that there must be sprinklers in all dormitories. And it turns out sprinklers are really fucking important because just 1 month before this fire, there had been a different fire set on another floor in Boland Hall. This was a fire in a trash can. It sounds like it was set intentionally. I don't think it was by these same two fuckers. That floor had sprinklers and the fire was contained with no injuries.
Weird.
Yeah.
And you said that was 2 months before
1
this
month
fire?
before.
Oh my God.
So they were all just like one-upping each other with these fucking fire pranks. It was bad news. On the federal level after this tragedy, which is one of the worst fires in like U.S. history up to this point, the House of Representatives created the Campus Fire Safety Education Act, which lets colleges and universities apply for fire safety programs on campus and get funds to install fire safety mechanisms if they don't have the funds already to do so.
When you say it was one of the worst fires in U.S. history, are you talking like damage, like monetary damage wise?
No, in terms of deaths and severe injuries. Because 3 people
Injuries.
died, but 58 people had serious injuries.
Okay. Forgot about the injuries.
Seton Hall, the university, had legal immunity from negligence lawsuits because of its status as a religious nonprofit institution.
Son
Fuck
of a bitch.
that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
We're Catholic,
That's
so it's
bullshit.
not our fault that
It was
people
God's
died in a
will.
fire. Yeah. But in 2001, it reached a settlement deal with families of some of the victims. And it didn't have to do that, but it like chose to do that and like waived its immunity to like give these families a settlement. But
So people didn't take them to civil court?
no, they couldn't. They had legal immunity. It was basically out of like the goodness of Seton Hall's heart to like, and for like staving off that they wanted people to sign like NDAs. Like they wanted people to like shut the fuck up about it. So they reached this settlement deal with families of victims to make it go away. But they didn't have to legally.
Yeah.
Frank Cultibalata Jr.'s family is still angry at the school for not taking the false fire alarm incidents seriously enough. Like they had like an RA meeting, but like,
Yeah, like this was going, the false fire alarms in and of themselves were going on for a fucking while.
for a year.
And they didn't crack the fuck down on it.
Yeah. But what about the clowns who set the fire for fun?
Oh no.
So after the fire, both Ryan and Lepore fled campus. There was a 3.5-year investigation that led to an indictment. It charged both of them with starting the fire and with felony murder. On November 16th, 2006, so 6 years later, it was a long investigation and process. Both Ryan and Lepore pled guilty to third-degree arson and witness tampering. So they were trying to like
Tell people to keep their mouths shut,
Yep.
probably.
Lepore.
Wow.
Also-
Fucking shitheads. I mean, fuck you. The witness tampering just like pours so much salt in that whole fucking wound.
I wonder if the witness tampering could be tampering with each other because they are also both witnesses.
Could be like if we both keep our mouths shut.
Yeah, it might just
Maybe.
be another charge to stack on them because they want to.
Either way,
Also, what is felony murder?
we've talked about this before and I never remember. It's just like it's like a real bad one.
I think it's like it's a step up from like it was an accident, but it wasn't an accident and people died.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
The felony murder rule is a law in most states and under federal law that allows anyone who is accused of committing a violent felony to be charged with murder if the commission of that felony results in the death of someone.
Yeah, so it was arson that resulted in deaths.
Yeah, I always thought that
So
was
they
kind of
committed
like
felony arson
manslaughter.
Yeah, but this is like way worse. Like you already committed a felony. They committed felony arson.
In committing your felony, people died.
And in that arson felony, yeah, they killed 3 other people. It's not like, oops, I dropped my cigarette
Right.
and this started on fire. That would be manslaughter.
Right, exactly. So Lepore also pled guilty to evading arrest and a disorderly persons charge because when the police tried to pick him up, he backed his car into the police standing there who were trying to arrest him.
What a
On
fucking
foot?
piece of shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was in his car. The police
He
were on
didn't
foot,
hit
yeah.
the car. He hit the cops.
I believe so, yes.
Jesus Christ.
So they were sentenced to 5 years each in a youth correctional facility, even though they were both 18.
Mm-hmm.
But they were eligible for parole after just 16 months.
Cool.
Families for the victims called them cowards for running away after setting the fire instead of helping people leave the dorm.
Yup.
Like, look at Dana Christmas. She like went back in 3 times to like save people. These 2 motherfuckers fled. They didn't even have any burns.
Queen Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
God.
In 2008, both were denied parole, but just a year later, in 2009, Ryan was released on parole. So he was in for 3 years?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things,
Yeah. I mean, he might have done some time served before pleading guilty, but yeah, he was not in there for very long. He was only sentenced to 5 years max. At that time, Lepore waived his right to be considered for parole and decided to serve out the rest of his sentence, which is like, okay, maybe he's like starting to mature and realize what he fucking did.
How much he fucked up. Yeah.
But it was still just 1 more year, and he was released in January 2010. So he was like, no, I'll serve another year. I don't want to go out on parole. So today, Lepore is married with a daughter and working in the home improvement business. And Ryan is also married with a child and works in, quote, business in New York City. And I just think it's really interesting. Like, obviously, I haven't spoken to these 2 people, and maybe they are like racked with guilt and like try to find ways
completely change and
to like make
restitution somehow.
Maybe they're doing that in their private life, and I just didn't come across it in my research. But I find it really interesting that like the surviving victims have dedicated their lives to helping others, like Dana Christmas with her like racial justice work and being a reverend or whatever. And
these 2 fuckers
yeah,
are just living their happy little quiet lives, probably hoping that people don't Google their names. And
not
just
dedicating their
in.
lives to like traveling the country, educating people about fire safety. Which, like, they could be like, don't pull these
alcohol
pranks.
use on campus.
Look at what we did. Look at what we're responsible for. We have to live with this every day. Like, you could become speakers.
Make a huge impact.
Yeah, no.
I'm not defending their choices, but we talked about 3 survivors out of almost 60. And these are only 2 people. And they also were involved in very different capacities, obviously. So I don't know. If I were in their position, I don't think I would want to be in the public eye whatsoever either.
Well, no, of course not. But that's also like what we're saying.
Yeah, that's self-preservation.
Right.
I mean, that's like,
Yeah, I'm just people make different choices.
Yeah.
I don't like their choice either.
I just think it's interesting, you know? Like it is a choice. And obviously, like, you're 18. Literally, your brain is not fully functioning yet.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
You're a fucking idiot. It's 4:30 a.m. You're drunk. You're an idiot. And, like, it's a horrible, tragic mistake. But then they made more cowardly decisions after it.
Yeah. It's bad. I feel like even at 18, any one of us would have been like, oh, fuck, we fucked up.
Yeah.
And not tried to, like, run off and, like, run over a cop with our car and tamper with each other or other people to keep our mouths shut. Like, that aftermath is not sitting right with me at all.
Well, they're fucking idiots.
They're fucking idiots. Also, like, both Ryan and Lepore are white, and, like, the 3 surviving victims that I mentioned are all black, and I feel like that is a factor. Anyway, okay, that's my case. Thanks, Kelly.
Damn.
Great.
Wow. Yeah, it's bad. It's worse than what I had just scratched the surface of.
Yeah, fire alarms, don't fuck with them. They're there for a reason. They're serious. It's not a prank thing.
No, my ex and I lived with 2 cats in a high rise in Minneapolis many years ago. And there was a fire alarm there once. And we were on like the 16th floor, and it was the dead of winter. And they obviously, when the fire alarm goes off, you can't use the elevator. Like, you can't call the elevator at all. So we had to like shove the cats into their carrier. And he grabbed his keys, and we just had to go down 16 floors with these cats. And I don't even think both cats were in the carrier. I think he was carrying one of them by hand.
Could you get the elevator back up?
Yes, I think so.
You'd remember
like
climbing up 16.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. But yeah, we sat in the car and the fire department came, and sure enough, there was a fire in someone's apartment, but everyone was fine. But it's like, it's annoying. No one wants to fucking get up and go down 16 flights of stairs for a fire alarm, but
They're there for a reason.
Yeah, you never know.
All right. Nice
Well
job.
done.
Thank you for all of that. And let's hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. If you're one of the 54% of people, which I actually think that seems low. I think that's like
self-reporting, obviously.
Yeah, that's like 54% reported people who trim, in your sensitive parts. I've got sensitive parts down below. I've got sensitive parts under my arms. Like shaving for me is
it's a minefield.
It's a minefield. I have really sensitive skin. Below the belt shaving can be so rough when you have very sensitive skin, and it just got so much better thanks to the folks at Meridian. Meridian offers powerful trimmers that cut through even the coarsest hair. Hi, me. My pubes are like so powerful. They're so strong.
They can move mountains.
They can move mountains, and Meridian can handle it, okay? They're also gentle enough for your privates, so they can handle the tough pubes, but they're not gonna like destroy your sensitive skin. This is what I'm saying. A comfortable shave below the belt without nicks, without cuts, without ingrowns.
No,
That's my
like,
biggest
tugging.
issue. The tugging. I can't with the tugging. Meridian trimmers are for everyone. Men, women, in between, neither, both, the whole spectrum, and you can achieve any style. Maybe you like it bare, all the way down to the hardwood, baby. Maybe you're a buzz person. Maybe you like a shapely bush. Maybe you want to get creative with some designs. Meridian has your back, baby.
Meridian's got your everything. This high-quality waterproof trimmer is fitted with a 6,000 RPM motor. That sounds real fast.
Yeah.
They've also got safe ceramic blades. So like I said, no tugging, no cutting, no nicking. It's great. It's like, it's comfortable. There, I said it. And an anti-nick shaving guard. And don't just take it from us. Meridian has over 1,000 5-star reviews. And
Love.
I had a Meridian trimmer before they were a sponsor of this show. So I'm fully on board.
Yeah, I've seen it. Looks great.
Yeah, you have seen it.
It's gorgeous.
It's actually one of my best features.
stunning.
So, together with Meridian, we want to grant you an extra 15% off your order using the coupon code GALS. So go to meridiangrooming.com. That's MERIDIAN grooming.com and use the code GALS for an exclusive 15% off. So get a better and safer below-the-belt trimming experience today. Treat and honor your parts, your regions, however you choose to shape them.
Oh, treat them. Are we ready?
I hope so.
Well, I'm so glad that I made the choices I made for this episode.
Yeah, I'm still feeling fragile.
Yeah.
I mean, my personal mental health needed a break for some pure comedy anyway, so I went in a different direction with my segment today. And instead of covering a specific case at all, I am borrowing from Kenyon's playbook with a coven confession-like approach.
Ooh.
So I took to the internet, meaning basically Reddit, BuzzFeed, Ranker, to compile some of the most outrageous college dorm/roommate horror stories.
Oh, thank God.
And honestly, this made me feel so much better about not having a traditional college experience because holy shit, people are lunatics.
People are lunatics. And you got all the best parts of it
I did.
by visiting.
And yeah, and then went home to my own laundry and my own shower.
You lucky bitch.
And my own room.
Yeah, God damn it.
And I mean, I was in the absolute height of privilege at that time, like brand new house that my parents had built that they inevitably lost to foreclosure. So we paid for it. But like I had
you
this
literally
basement.
didn't pay for it. But anyway.
Well, I mean, they paid for it through their bankruptcy. So I didn't pay for
I
it.
can
They
make that
paid
joke
for
because
it.
I also have family foreclosure in my history.
Right. Well, and also they
literally
did
did
pay
not.
for
No,
it
I know.
in a bankruptcy.
It was-
settlement. But anyway. So
2008 was a time.
Ticket.
It was ticket. The lower floor, like the basement, had like a walkout patio, a kitchenette, a living room with a kitchen, a private bathroom, and 2 bedrooms, and that was my half of
It
the
was
house.
your own apartment.
It was my
your
own apartment.
luxury
With like
apartment.
a cellar of free vodka from your dad's job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I had built it to eventually be like a mother-in-law's quarters for one of my grandmas, but didn't make it that far. Anyway,
No one made it that far.
I don't remember where I was going with this, but I'm just going to keep going. So college, right. That was my college experience. So I'm just going to read a bunch of my favorites that I pulled from the web.
Cool.
This first one has me, Amanda, hi, I'm the problem, it's me, written all the fuck over it. This is from a submitter named Kate Edwards, who posted this to Facebook. Quote, one of my roommates was notoriously late on projects. So why would I expect final projects to be any different? I was already in bed trying to get a decent rest so I'd be prepared for my 8 a.m. art history final. That should be illegal.
Yeah.
When my roommate bursts in saying we need to move everything important because she had to flood the room. She was completely serious. She was going to flood the room so it would ruin her too far behind project that she knew she had no chance of finishing in time.
Oh, that's me.
Call the RA,
Yeah.
get a note saying she needed an extension on her project due to unforeseen circumstances.
I would have 1,000% thought about doing this. I definitely considered getting like gently hit by a car at one point
my God.
to try to like get more
Jesus
time to
Christ.
finish.
Desperate times, man.
I mean, I could use some good insurance money to finish paying for this wedding. So maybe I should get gently hit by a car.
Well, now you said it. So now you're
Allegedly.
fucked.
Allegedly.
Speaking of flooding the room,
metaphorically.
my cousin Blobbert,
Blob for short.
Blob for short,
Lobby boy.
lived in a house like near campus, and they just decided to completely eat their security deposit for the house and have a beach party. So they
Yeah,
filled
it with sand.
the whole place with sand,
Yep.
and then charged admission
Yep.
to recoup their security deposit.
That was a whole thing.
Were there
cannot-
mites in the sand? A la
I just can't
Succession?
believe the gall or the
Yeah.
reaction of the landlord.
Can you
I'm sure.
imagine?
No.
That is why you don't become a landlord.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not in Iowa City.
fuck landlords, but that does really
Or at least
suck.
not in a don't become a landlord in a college town. It ain't worth it.
It's not. So gross. So she wants to flood the room. She's completely serious. She's like, I can't. I have to get out of this project. So she said we should only move really important stuff because if everything goes undamaged, it's going to look suspicious to the RA.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my other roommate and I talked her out of it. But if we hadn't been there, I truly believe she would have just gone ahead and done it.
I don't want to get
So that
caught.
ended
Ruin
well,
all
but-
your shit.
Mhm.
And if you got caught, you'd be expelled.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh my
For sure.
God.
You do get desperate when you're
Yeah, you do.
procrastinator like I am.
Yeah.
You get
Oh, yeah.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I credited that story to the wrong person at the top. That was submitted by Jill Ryan Hayer. This next one is from Kate Edwards. Quote, my roommate in the dorms wore a puppet on her shoulder. And if you asked her a question, she would answer with the puppet.
Oh, no.
It was
No.
a puppet of a griffin, which is a mythological creature that is a combination of lion and eagle. It sucked.
It sucked.
That's my favorite part. It sucked.
Can you imagine that's your roommate?
I sure can't.
Can you
Can't
imagine?
imagine.
I can't imagine it.
I can.
I am blown away.
Lucy, I can't.
I had two random roommates.
Yeah.
Neither one
Puppets?
were super great. There were no puppets involved, but one of them I'm pretty sure was like ex-Mennonite.
I'm sure.
One of my roommates,
Rural Iowa, let's go.
Yeah.
one of my freshman roommates just like decided that she wanted her own room, so she took the common room.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, but that's the common
Okay.
room.
By definition.
Uh-huh.
Like at the time I let it happen, but new me would have been like, no.
No. Mm. We all sleep in our extra long twin on top of each other, or none of us
Yeah.
do. So she finishes off by saying, we also had all the same classes together, and I woke up late more than once to that damn puppet in my face telling me the time.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Guys, I know. I love
would
that
have
one. That was
actually
amazing.
committed murder.
At the risk
Felony
of like
murder.
a too soon moment, I would have burned that puppet.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Outside where it's safe.
Outside in a pit.
Yeah.
Away off
gone
campus.
up in
Taken off
flames.
campus. And then you have to put the ashes in a bucket and toss them in a river so that it can never reform again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one, like, I think has to be linked to a mental health issue, but the
This
thought of
one?
living with a
Not the last
this
one.
no, the last one just makes
The
sense.
last one is like Liz Lemon trying to get the good seat on the
Yes.
subway level of insanity.
Liz Lemon trying to get out of jury duty. Yeah, I love it. But like the thought of living with a roommate like this in particular is actually gag inducing, like way more than the puppet. So this was submitted by Tina Eilina. Tina Eilina. Quote, my freshman roommate's bed was lofted across the room from my bed that was lower. So like they were on top of each other like bunk
I
beds. but
pictured like it was lofted across the room.
lofted.
Well,
Right before I was about to fall asleep, she sat up in bed, turned toward me, and projectile vomited from her bed onto my bed where I was laying down, falling asleep.
Oh my God.
She then puked half into a trash can and half onto our carpeted floor. And for the next 2 days, like she was sick for days and never cleaned it up. Never cleaned it up. And she says this was following months of foul smells drifting from her closet of dirty clothes that she never washed and sleeping on a sheetless bed on those mattresses that like everybody uses for most of the year.
she's just like the Charles Schultz, like what's the
Yeah,
pigsty?
Pigpen.
Pigpen.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Scott had a roommate similar to that his freshman year at GW. Foul,
Wasn't good.
smelling kid.
Yeah.
Heart of gold.
Yeah. Hard to go.
I remember
But reeked like hell.
I remember one time in our Amanda, you would have hated this. In my dorm sophomore year, we had our communal bathroom that had the whole hallway of girls. There was one bathtub. The rest were showers.
I would never use
don't
a
use
communal
that
bathtub.
That having that bathtub is worse.
Somebody threw up in that bathtub
Yeah.
and then tried to like clean it up with toilet paper and then just tried to wash the toilet paper down the bathtub.
That's not how that works.
So it got completely clogged with just like floating barf water
no.
I want to say about 5 or 6 days before like the
Maintenance.
main janitorial team came in. It was bad.
Next.
Yeah. Oh God.
I can't. So I know that I have mentioned on the show before how I was a really creepy sleepwalker as a kid
Yes.
and did like really creepy shit. Like the one time I went downstairs and got huge kitchen scissors and just started cutting up my bed sheets.
Maybe you had to get down a window.
Maybe. Or another time that my mom would check on me in the night and I'd be in the corner of my bedroom slowly peeling off the wallpaper, completely asleep.
Or reading that dinosaur book really quickly.
It's a really good book, Mom. I was haunted. I was a haunted child.
Oh.
I grew out of that, but this roommate apparently didn't and took it to a nasty place. So this was submitted by Jordan Wennick. Quote, my roommate last year sleepwalked every once in a while, and in maybe the second or third week of the school year, while sleepwalking, he came over to where my bed was, peed all over the floor, and then tried to climb into my bed while I was in it.
You should have
Like,
to
get
undergo
out.
like a sleep study before they place you in
Yeah,
student housing.
the roommate questionnaire
Yeah.
quiz or whatever they give you is
I
not
remember
in-depth
them
enough to
being
cover
like,
this shit.
"Oh, you're," but like for pairing me with like my roommate that I did not get
It's
along
like,
with.
are you a night owl? Are you a morning
I fucking
person?
wish it was that. It was like, what are your interests and hobbies? And I was like, I don't know. I guess dance. Like, I don't know. She was like on the dance team. They're like, you guys will get along great. I was like, we are not.
Ours was completely random. There was no questionnaire.
That's wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, we raw dogged it.
Ish.
We raw dogged those relationships.
No. Oh God. Okay. So honestly, when I like picture college life in its most
College.
like stereotypical form. This is basically what I picture. This is a post submitted by user Zephix321. We had a suite of 6 guys. One of these guys, Ron, was a weird hippie who did all sorts of hysterical things. Example 1, he was barefoot wherever he went, which is not too bad, but we got concerned when it started snowing and he would still be barefoot. Example 2, another suite mate and I came home one day and opened the door and there were something like 5 20-gallon drums filled with dirt and dying plants. There were bugs everywhere for weeks. When we asked Ron, what the fuck? He responded by exclaiming, look, guys, can you believe the farm was giving these away for free? That's me.
Lucy would have been friends with this
100%.
guy. Lucy would have been
Absolutely.
BFFs
Dying
with
plant
Ron.
right behind me. I just haven't thrown it away
Absolutely.
yet.
These are the type of people that you collect.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Example 3. He liked to use the microwave to cook. He once baked weed into chocolate using the microwave, which was impressive. But another time, he put a plastic bowl in for about 20 minutes until the thing vaporized and released poison smoke.
Yeah.
My God, there's a
Forever
theme.
chemicals.
Yeah. This is the thing
Yeah.
I read about earlier that reminded me of the carpet. Another time he made his tea so hot that it spilled and melted the
Yeah.
carpet. So like again,
Microwaves
this is
should
cheapy dorm.
have automatic off switch. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be able to put them on for that long.
Right. And also the carpet is real cheap and it's really gross. Example 4, he invited my roommate in for a threesome, but I guess it would have been a foursome if he had said yes. He was having a threesome already. And his roommate was home and was like, hey man, you want in on this? Just out of the blue. And the guy was like, no, I'm good.
No.
And my favorite,
I'm good.
or it's not my favorite, but the last one, example 5, he fermented apple wine under his bed. That was actually pretty cool.
Somehow not bugs for that one. Speaking of
Right?
carpet and dorms and ridiculous
Oh, no.
roommates. So when I lived with the men's rugby team,
The men's rights team.
no,
Ew.
they were great. They were
I'm just
wonderful. I
kidding.
loved the rugby team. One of them,
His
his dad owned a carpet factory.
He was so hungry he could eat a whole carpet store.
And we lived in the concrete bunker, whatever, but the bunker walls had like these little round holes. We're not going into that story, but they had these little round holes that were like
Glory
wood that
holes.
you could like hang art, basically, because otherwise it's concrete. So they were like little circles of wood where you could like put in tacks and pins and shit. And they were like, oh, well, we need to like dampen the sound of all of our like rager parties. It's like, no, we didn't need to do that. But that was the thought.
It's a concrete
Yeah.
box. It's already
No,
dampened.
so they were like, we got to dampen the sound so we can throw our ragers. Like, okay, fine. So this roommate brought a bunch of like discarded rolls of carpet from his dad's factory,
Ish.
drove it up to campus, and then they like drilled these just carpets, not attractive, but just like carpet shards all over the walls. And then there was leftover or some that were like too heavy to like stay up. So for the entire semester, they just stayed stacked on the floor, rolled up in our kitchenette, and we couldn't
That sounds
use
right.
our kitchenette.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I
Great.
said
Love
nothing
that.
about it. Was just like, that's life.
It just is what it
There's
is.
It was a
Yep.
completely different time in life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I feel like Gen Z really does not understand the like post 9/11 and like anthrax hysteria
Anthrax.
that had an absolute chokehold on North America in 2001. So like this next story is the perfect example of how seriously we took this shit and how terrified everybody
Yeah.
was. Like #global trauma. Y'all, the pandemic is your first one. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, we walked so you could run. Yeah. It slaps. Anyway, this was submitted by Astute Stoat. My drunk roommate discharged a fire extinguisher in the elevator late one night. And this being 2001, early the next morning, a paranoid newspaper delivery boy thought the yellow foam was somehow anthrax and called 911. At 7 a.m., the entire dorm, which is about 400 people, was evacuated by firemen in full-blown hazmat suits. They were all put onto buses and quarantined in a university cafeteria by order of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, no!
Nobody at that point knew what was going on. Only when I heard rumors about a mysterious whitish powder in the elevator did I remember my roommate holding a fire extinguisher as he came back the night before. And it clicked. The cops were painstakingly interrogating all 400 residents one by one.
Of the anthrax.
Yeah. So I rushed to tell them it was just a huge misunderstanding. I told them to check our room, which they did. And they found my still passed out roommate lying in bed, cuddling an empty fire extinguisher.
Zach's parents found him hungover or still drunk, cuddling a giant traffic cone once in high school, just in bed.
I found my ex hungover in a closet, cuddling an empty jug of milk.
Ick.
Yep. Boy loved milk.
Could have been wet anthrax.
Could have been wet anthrax. So they were able to let everyone go and cancel the Army Biological Warfare Response Team that had been called and was on its way.
Oh, the waste of resources. This is amazing.
They were trying to keep it under control.
Yep. The weirdest part was having to explain to my sociology professor that I missed the midterm that day because I was quarantined by the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
And then my room flooded, and then
my car rolled 3 times.
in front of the burglar.
And then the anthrax team came, and there was a hazmat suit, and then I confronted the burglar, and then I told them, and they
Griffin.
found my roommate.
I lit the Griffin puppet on
He was
fire.
cuddling the fire extinguisher.
And then the puppet talked to me, and I'm under a lot of stress.
Can I confess something?
Yes?
What?
What?
Until now, I thought
What?
it was the Royal Canadian Mountain Police.
Mountain? Not mounted?
Mountain.
Oh,
Mounties.
honey, no.
Mounties.
Yeah, so what did you...
They hang out in the
Thought
mountains.
Mountie was like... Oh
They're
my
always
God,
in
a
the
nickname for mountain. Look at those Mounties. I am now
Canada
only
has
calling
some
mountains
mountains.
Mounties.
Canada's
No.
got a lot of mountains.
It's got a
Mountains
lot
are
of not
Mounties now.
mountains, too.
I have never in my life even considered that it was mounted police
They're on horseback. Well, at least the
in
OGs
the
were.
mountains.
In the mountains.
Well, you know what? I thought narwhals were mythical, so
Yeah, we all have
Yeah.
our issues.
Yeah.
And I didn't think bathtubs were made of teeth. I thought it was maybe the same chemical structure as teeth.
I'm going to move on now. This next one was submitted by DMAC1228. We always used to leave the doors to our dorm room open as the suite door, like the main suite door, remained locked. So I was alone in my room, sitting at my computer, and I felt a fart. My stomach had been upset earlier, so I'm like trying to gently squeeze out the fart when suddenly 2 hands jab into my side and I hear a scream behind me. And I shit my pants. My roommate is laughing because he just scared me, and I look up at him boasting in his glorious scare and said, I just shit myself. He's still oblivious. I say, I literally just shit myself. There is shit in my pants right now. And I leave no room for misinterpretation this time. His smile is slowly draining as he realizes that retaliation is going to be severe. And the roommate quickly escapes the room in fear for his life. And I grab a change of pants and hobble to the shower to plot my revenge. I do not know what the revenge
Timing
was.
is everything. Like right when
Everything.
you're working.
On a gentle
then-
fart.
Popped
just
him
made
like a balloon.
Yeah, farted it right
Out
out.
of nowhere.
Nowhere.
What if this
Just
person
appeared.
had like their headphones on? Like,
Maybe.
no idea.
They might have.
Oh my
They
God.
didn't know. They didn't hear this person sneaking up behind them. They had no idea.
Jesus.
Headphones or not, they got
Jesus.
more than they bargained for. All right, I got a couple more here. I have no words for this next one other than why are men? Boys? I don't know. And this was submitted by Opiomorph. Okay. People's usernames are telling. Came back from dinner one evening and a friend of mine was out in the hallway in his boxers with 2 girls who were also just in their underwear. Each of the girls had a gallon of milk, which they were pouring on him intermittently, just in the hallway.
Evacuate! It's anthrax!
It's anthrax. It's wet anthrax.
Stop saying wet anthrax.
Wet anthrax.
Yeah.
He had a paper cup, which the girls, 2 girls, 1 milk cup, which the girls would sometimes pour milk into so he could then pour the milk on himself. I approached and he greeted me and said, "Hey, so-and-so, check this out." And he had one of his lady friends pour milk into his cup. He took his balls, and only his balls, in parentheses, out of the fly of his, slot of his boxers and proceeded to dunk his balls into the cup of milk in the hallway. He let out a very relieved sigh and assured me that, quote, "dipping your balls in milk is the greatest feeling in the world, man."
Wow.
I thanked him for his advice and continued to my room, and the hall stank of rotten milk for weeks.
Ooh, yeah.
I still don't know what it feels like to dip my balls in milk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Prove it.
Until today.
But fuck you, don't. You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah, boys.
I can't.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're disgusting. Okay, this one was submitted by Sensor Speed Racer Cool. Night before Halloween, freshman year. I'm hanging out in my dorm room alone with the door to my room propped open in a feeble attempt to be more quote-unquote social. It's about midnight and I'm rummaging around in my closet trying to find a snack or something when I think I hear a soft knock at my door. I walk out to the middle of my room to investigate, but I don't see anyone in the dimly lit hallway. However, after staring out my door for a few seconds, I notice a shadow moving slightly across the floor just outside. "Hello?" I call out as I walk to my door, when slowly a man dressed like one of the Saw dolls, but like you want to play a game, Saw dolls,
Ew.
appears in the doorway. All I could manage was a quiet, "Oh my God," before I slammed the door shut in his face and locked the deadbolt.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite part. All I could manage was a quiet, "Oh my God." I slammed the
Also
door
get
in
a
his
deadbolt.
face.
You need a fire alarm. You need a carbon monoxide detector. You need a deadbolt.
Yep.
You need
Gwen
a
Stefani
taser.
poster.
You need a mini fridge. You
Yeah.
do not need a microwave.
Yeah.
Or an Ethernet cable.
Extra long
an Ethernet
twin
cable.
sheets.
Yeah.
An extra set if you're bougie.
Or if you need to make a rope last minute.
Mhm.
Some rope lights.
Mhm. No candles.
Oh, yeah. All right. My last one, I'm going to end my segment with a tale of entrepreneurship out of Penn State's East Halls from 2017. My roommate and I, let's call her Bridget, quote unquote, were very compatible in the beginning. As it started getting colder and cuffing season was upon us, Bridget told me she got a Tinder.
I learned what cuffing season is.
Me too.
It's like when you want to get in a relationship before like Valentine's Day or whatever.
Before it gets cold. Before
Yeah,
like
it gets cold.
winter.
I had always misheard it as cuddling season, which made sense to me. But cuffing,
What do you
like
mean
you want to put
always?
your cuffs on.
This is a new phrase.
It's not that
Well,
new.
but yeah, but it's that song. It's not that new. This is from 2017. But also that song on TikTok was playing like in every fucking video I was looking at, and I always thought it was saying cuddling season, and then I looked it up.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway,
Well, we all get our exposure to the youngsters in different
we
ways.
do.
I do it with Tinder, or not Tinder. Oh my God. With TikTok.
that was wrong on a few levels.
I was
I do it
reading
with
the
Grindr.
word Tinder. Fine, tell Bill. I don't care.
Plenty
So-
of fish.
Plenty of fish. She was going out on dates.
Only farmers.
And farmers only.
Christian single. Christian mingle.
Christian single.
Christian single.
Craft singles.
Yum.
I would
Dating
join-
site.
I would join that dating
Actually,
site.
that would be a hysterical
That'd be a really
stunt
good
for
dating
craft
site.
to do.
That'd be
Or
brilliant.
people who like to craft.
No, but I'm talking about the cheese.
Okay. All right.
just cheese, just for dating.
Usually talking about the cheese.
Yeah. Okay, so she's on Tinder, she's going out on dates, and one night she brought some random guy back to do the dirty. She politely asked me to leave for a while. This is a good roommate, so I did. Well, when I got back, neither of them were there, and I decided to take a shower. But I was going to get a pair of underwear. All of my panties were gone.
No.
I looked all over, and there were none. So instead of going to take a shower, I headed downtown to buy some more. When I got, I mean,
Who has panty replacement money?
I don't know. It's some bougie. Whose college has a downtown? This is some bougie city college, bitch.
Whose college has a
I had
downtown.
$82 a semester.
Yeah, of
spending
free
money.
money. Of quote, spending money. Yeah, no.
You're going to go commando before you spend that.
1,000%. I wouldn't immediately go buy more underwear either. I'd be like, the
guess
fuck?
I
I'd be
don't have
McGruff the
underwear.
crime dogging the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
I'd be more concerned about where the fuck it went.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would not be concerned with replacing the underwear right away. I just slap
I
on
don't
some
even think
leggings
that'd be in
and
my top 10
No.
of thoughts.
no, I'd be interrogating everyone.
Okay.
It was there
What'd you do
20
with my
minutes
lavender
ago.
thong?
Where the fuck? Those were 5 for $25 from
Oh.
Victoria's Secret, and I had to babysit for 6 hours to get that $25.
Seriously, yeah. I think
Okay.
they raised their prices too now. I think
They
it's like
super
5
have.
for
God.
like $36 or
It's like
something.
4 for $36. Also, don't get your underwear at Victoria's Secret.
No,
It's a scam.
Okay. Don't do it.
So
Terrible
when I
quality.
got back, it's so bad, and so expensive.
Okay.
When I got back, I confronted Bridget about the underwear issue, and she said that we'll call him Nick, her Tinder date, would not ever do such a thing. Wouldn't steal all of the underwear.
I've known
person
this
she
man
met
for
earlier.
16 hours.
I know my Tinder date inside and out.
That reminds me of Michael Scott. This is a dream that I have had since lunch, and I am not giving up on it. Ham, this is a dream I have had since lunch. So one night, I went to bed early, and they came back, oblivious to the fact that I was still in the room. After they did the dirty, she went to the bathroom, and right as she left, Nick headed straight for my underwear drawer.
Was he think there's just going to be magically more underwear?
Well, the
Well,
underwear
I mean,
fairy
there was.
came.
She went and bought more. Oh, the underwear fairy. My favorite.
He's probably selling them online, isn't he?
Uh-huh. I instantly got up and started flipping out, calling him a pervert, amongst other things. He was utterly surprised
Says the
that I was
person
even
who
there.
Just lie prone while they fucked 2 feet away.
I mean, it's college. Roommates.
She had
Come
a
on.
reason.
She had a reason.
But yeah, it is.
And she was already home. If you didn't accidentally fuck in the room with your roommate at some point, did you really go to college? Says the girl who really didn't go to college.
So you basically went to college.
I basically went
You
to college.
came in college.
I super did. So Bridget comes back out from the bathroom or whatever and sees what's happening and starts yelling at him, asking why he only took her underwear.
Like, why?
It's like, get your priorities right, Bridget.
We're just like, what? My underwear isn't good enough.
Was
for
it
you?
good enough? You perv. What I wouldn't have given to be a fly on the wall for this fucking fight. All Nick could say was that he sells women's underwear on the side for extra cash and that he couldn't sell hers because that would have been mean of him.
Oh, because he slept with her.
Because he's sleeping with Bridget, so I can't sell her
Unethical.
underwear.
I don't want other people to smell
I
my
can't-
girlfriend's underwear.
No, I can't shit where I eat. You know, you can't mix business with pleasure. You know, so
I don't want things
just
to get
took your
complicated.
I mean, I don't want this to get too complicated. And I only took the clean ones. It's not like I dug through your laundry for the dirty ones. or anything.
Yuck.
I'm gonna throw up. Anyway, she ends this by saying, I ended up transferring dorms because I did not want to see either of them ever
Because
again.
Bridget didn't break up with Nick.
Probably not. Probably because Bridget was so concerned
They
about
have
why
two
did
beautiful boys.
Bridget's such a pick-me girl. She's mad at Nick for not selling her stolen underwear on the
I
side.
mean, that would sting a little bit.
It's a
Would
question
it?
to ask.
Oh, my underwear isn't good enough.
I can see how that would sting.
This is how Bill and I are gonna break up. I find out he's selling Lucy's underwear.
Ish. If he got within a mile of my underwear,
I
I'm
need
calling the police.
Bridget
Please do.
to email us. I need this episode to find its way to grown up
I
Bridget.
know.
And I
really
need an
hope-
update.
I'll be so happy because I did pull these from like random spots online. They were like listener submissions. So I will be so happy
Yeah.
if anyone listening is
the
one of
word
these people
out.
or knows any of these people, yeah, share this.
The word out.
If you know
on
anyone
the
named
internet.
Bridget, ask them if they
Yeah.
dated someone named Nick in college.
Bridget's a fake name and Nick is also a fake
Shit.
name. Yeah.
Well, we're going to
yeah.
have to do
but
more
the
digging.
story
Give
is
Kenyon
unique
12
enough.
minutes. She'll find it.
Yeah, she'll have the inside of this person's father-in-law's house in my inbox in an hour.
Their
Anyway,
annual
that's-
income.
That's my
Tax
segment
bracket.
for today.
Thank God. Thank God you
I'm
went this
so
route.
I'm so glad I did after
good
Kenyon's
way to
case.
balance out. Oh, well, thank you so much, Kelly Tobin. This was a fun jaunt down memory lane.
It
Yes.
really was.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip, music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell, editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers!